Hey everyone, let us talk about something that truly separates those who build lasting wealth from those who stay stuck, constantly chasing their tails financially. It is not about how much you earn every month or even how much you've accumulated over a year. The real game changer, the genuine turning point, is what you do with your first substantial chunk of money. I am talking about that moment when you first hold 10,000, 50,000, or maybe even 100,000 in your hands. This is your first bucket of gold, and its purpose is not for immediate pleasure, but for fundamentally altering the trajectory of your life. I've seen it time and time again, and I've been guilty of it myself. Many people remain financially constrained their entire lives, not because they never earned money, but because they made the wrong choice the very first time they genuinely earned a significant sum. You might think the big difference between people is making 3,000 a month versus 30,000 a month, but honestly, that's not it. The true divergence, what genuinely creates massive gaps between individuals, is what you choose to do when you first get your hands on 10,000, 50,000, or 100,000. Is your first instinct to consume, or is it to create capital? I've watched it happen. For some, the immediate reaction is to upgrade their car, finally buying that flashy model they've always dreamed of. For others, it is a long-awaited luxury vacation, an escape from the daily grind. Many finally feel justified in buying all those things they once deemed unaffordable, a little splurge to reward themselves for their hard work. But the truly astute individuals, the ones who eventually build lasting wealth, they suddenly become incredibly quiet. They pause because they instinctively understand that this money is a reward for past efforts. It is a seed, and if you eat the seed, if you consume it all, there is nothing left. If you plant the seed, however, with patience and foresight, only then can a forest grow in the future. This concept, this fundamental difference in approach, is why you see so many people earning hundreds of thousands a year, yet living lives filled with constant financial anxiety. Why? Because their money never actually transforms into assets. The moment their salary hits their bank account, it is immediately spent, consumed. Once that money is gone, they re-back on the hamster wheel, working again to earn the next paycheck, which predictably will also be consumed. Their lives become an endless treadmill. You might appear to be moving forward, making progress, but in reality, you are just running in place, perpetually caught in the same cycle. One of the biggest illusions that keeps people financially struggling is the belief that they will invest later, once they have enough money. But the harsh reality is that many people never actually accumulate enough money, precisely because they fail to invest early. Warren Buffett, a man whose financial wisdom is unparalleled, once uttered a brutal yet undeniably true statement: if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Why does that statement sting so much? Because for the vast majority of people, their income is directly tied to their active labor. The moment they stop working, their income immediately ceases. You catch a cold for a day, your income stops. You take a month-long vacation, your income stops. You get laid off at 35, your income stops. But true capital doesn't operate that way. Capital does sleep, capital does take sick days or vacations, capital works tirelessly, even while you are eating, even while you are sleeping. So, the true significance of your first bucket of gold is never just its monetary amount. Its real power lies in the fact that it is the very first time you have the opportunity to make your money work for you. You absolutely must understand this. The most challenging part of this entire financial journey isn't earning that first substantial sum. It is earning it, and then having the discipline and foresight to resist the urge to immediately spend it all. This brings us to one of the most dangerous aspects of human nature, the compensation mentality. People who have experienced prolonged periods of financial hardship, once they finally get their hands on some money, often feel an overwhelming urge to prove themselves. As a child, maybe they never had nice shoes, so now they splurge on expensive brands. They used to live in cramped rental apartments, so now they take out massive loans for luxury cars. They were looked down upon in the past, so now they consume relentlessly, hoping to package themselves as successful. But here's the critical question. While you might feel like you are finally enjoying life, what you are actually doing is prematurely mortgaging your future. You are not just spending 10,000 today, you are effectively squandering the future compounding potential of that 10,000 over the next 20 years. Some might argue it is only 10,000. What can that really do? But do you know what is truly terrifying? It is not that 10,000 is a small amount. It is the heartbreaking reality that many people will go their entire lives without ever accumulating their own principal, their own capital base. Individuals without capital are perpetually confined to the realm of labor, trading their time for money. Only those who possess capital have the privilege, the eligibility, to participate in the actual distribution of wealth. In 2020, when global markets plunged into chaos, some were consumed by panic, yet others were frantically buying assets. Why? Because the very same opportunities are only accessible to those who have ready cash, who possess capital. When housing prices were at an all-time low, you had no money. When the stock market crashed, you had no money. When truly promising investment opportunities emerged, you still had no money. Why? You then stumble upon a brutal truth. The most profitable times in the world are often precisely when ordinary people have the least amount of cash on hand. Therefore, The fundamental difference between the rich and the financially struggling is rarely about intelligence. It is almost always about their cash flow reserves, their capital base. Have you ever noticed how truly wealthy individuals seem to be in no particular hurry? It is because they know they hold a powerful safety net, a fundamental leverage. Conversely, why are people without money often so anxious? Because they cannot afford to stop. Their bank account balance is a direct measure of their courage to withstand risk. The thickness of their principal, their capital, is the source of their confidence when facing the world. Why do many successful business owners exude such a strong presence, a powerful aura? It is not because he speaks loudly or is inherently more dominant, it is because he possesses the profound security of knowing that even if his business doesn't generate a profit for 6 months, he won't starve. That kind of fundamental security cannot be provided by a regular salary. It can only come from possessing assets, from having capital. So, you absolutely must internalize this concept. The single most important thing in your youth is not to upgrade your consumption. It is to complete your initial accumulation of principal, your capital base. This is the most critical step in your entire life. Every single unit of principal you meticulously save in your youth will transform into your personal army in the future. Every act of controlled consumption you exercise today will, in time, buy you true freedom. Many people fail to grasp the power of compound interest. They dismiss an annual return of 10 or 20% as insignificant. But the truly terrifying aspect is never just the rate of return. It is profoundly. Albert Einstein famously called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. 100,000 in your youth might seem unremarkable, but if you give it 20-30 years, it will transform into a completely different number, a truly astonishing sum. More importantly, it will fundamentally alter your entire cognitive framework. When you experience, for the very first time, earning money through your assets, you will suddenly awaken to a profound realization. Money genuinely can be generated without having to perpetually trade your time for it. You will understand that there are indeed individuals in this world who earn through ownership, through capital, rather than solely through labor. That moment will completely shift your perspective on life. You will no longer be solely preoccupied with your salary. You will begin to care deeply about cash flow. You will stop thinking only about consumption. You will start meticulously planning your asset allocation. You will no longer spend your days obsessing over saving every penny. Instead, you will pivot your focus to efficiently maximizing the productivity of your capital. This, my friends, is the true significance of your first bucket of gold. Its purpose isn't to instantly make you rich. It is to grant you, for the very first time, the invaluable gift of wealth-building mindset. Many young people operate under the illusion that money is simply something to be spent. Later, they discover that the truly intelligent individuals are those who first establish their asset base. And only then do they truly enjoy life, because only assets can sustainably generate time for you. And time, my friends, is the most expensive, most precious commodity in this entire world. That luxury item you are contemplating buying. Now, in a few years, it will be outdated, irrelevant. That impulsive purchase you are craving, it will quickly lose its novelty and freshness. But the principal, the capital you diligently set aside in your youth one day, in the future, it will unexpectedly transform into your ultimate fallback, your unbreakable confidence, your profound freedom, and your intrinsic dignity. So, remember this profound truth: the truly successful individuals are not necessarily those who simply earn their first substantial sum of money. They are, crucially, the ones, upon receiving that first bucket of gold, do not rush to immediately reward themselves, because ordinary people, upon acquiring money, will instantly consume it. Masters of wealth, however, upon acquiring money, will first establish a system, a framework for growth. One is living for today, consuming the present; the other is strategically buying the future. A few years down the line, the gap between these two approaches will become insurmountable. The starting point of true financial freedom is never a sudden explosion in income. It is fundamentally the moment you decide definitively to stop eating your seeds. I have to tell you, I've lived through this kind of trap myself, early in my own journey. When I finally started earning a decent wage, I fell prey to the seductive siren call of consumption. I thought, finally, I can afford to enjoy myself. I can buy that new gadget, take that trip, eat at those fancy restaurants. It was a powerful, almost irresistible urge to reward myself, to make up for all those years of scrimping and saving. But what I was actually doing was eating my seeds. Each splurge, each non-essential purchase was a lost opportunity, a diversion of capital that could have been working for me, compounding and growing. I remember one time I got a substantial bonus at work. My first thought was to upgrade my car. I told myself I deserved it, that I had worked hard, and a better car would make my commute more comfortable and project a more successful image. Thankfully, a wise mentor at the time, someone who had already achieved significant financial independence, sat me down. He didn't preach. He just asked me a simple question: is this car going to make you money or cost you money? It sounds obvious, but in that moment of consumer desire, it was a profound question I realized. The car would be a depreciating asset, a constant drain with insurance, maintenance, and fuel. It would be a reward, yes. But at the cost of a future asset, I ended up investing that bonus, and while it wasn't a glamorous decision at the time, it was one of the best financial choices I ever made. It showed me the power of delayed gratification, the quiet strength of choosing capital over consumption. This isn't about being miserly or never enjoying anything. It is about strategic thinking, about understanding the long-term implications of your choices. It is about recognizing that in your youth, every dollar you save and strategically invest is exponentially more powerful than a dollar saved later in life. The magic of compound interest, that eighth wonder of the world, works best when given ample time. Your future self will thank your present self for having the discipline to plant those seeds. So, what does this mean for you? Right now, it means being incredibly intentional with your money, especially your first significant earnings. Before you buy that new phone, that designer bag, that impulsive trip, ask yourself, is this a consumption decision or a capital decision? Is this going to grow my wealth or deplete it? Am I planting a seed or eating it? It is a mindset shift, a fundamental reorientation of your priorities. And remember, investing in yourself, in your skills, in your knowledge, that is also a form of capital creation. Learning a new language, mastering a high-income skill, taking courses that enhance your expertise, these are investments that will pay dividends for years to come. They increase your earning potential, make you more valuable in the marketplace, and ultimately contribute to your capital base. So don't just think of capital as stocks and real estate. Think of it as anything that generates future value, anything that helps your money or your capabilities grow. The journey to financial freedom is a marathon, not a sprint. It is filled with temptations, with societal pressures to spend, to keep up, to indulge, but by understanding the true power of your first bucket of gold, by choosing to plant those seeds instead of eating them, you set yourself on a path towards genuine, lasting wealth. It is a path that leads not just to more money, but to more choices, more freedom, and ultimately, a more fulfilling life. Make that conscious decision today to be a planter, not a consumer, of your financial seeds. Your future self will be eternally grateful.